Backstory. My husband of 6 years had a mental downward spiral that started 8 months ago. He never had any apparent mental health problems previously. This came out of nowhere due to some undealt issues unbeknownst to me from his childhood. Luckily, my husband is an amazing provider, so this didn't impact us much financially. It did, however, create an emotional hardship, having watched my husband fall apart while I aimlessly tried to help him. Our young child also doesn't understand what has happened to her dad. With that being said, my mom, sister and a close friend have been my 3 rocks through this. My mom especially, since she and my husband developed a tight bond. My brother and his wife live in another state and vacation here every year. They didn't know the entire story of what had been happening. I went to my mom's house to pick up my daughter. I just returned from visiting him. My mom wanted to know how things were, his progress, his demeanor, basically everything. As we were discussing, my brother popped in from around the corner. Pretty much our entire family was there. I told him where my husband was and what had happened, to which he responded, "I always knew he was crazy." I think everyone in that house, including his wife, was dumbfounded. He then tried deflecting that comment by saying, "Well, he's definitely crazy for marrying you," as if that would make things better. I completely went off. I guess my reflex was to sling dirt. I made a comment along the lines of actual crazy people, like him, having to pay for escort services because women always ran from him. He looked shocked, I knew. Honestly, I don't even remember how I found out. My sister knew as well, but our parents didn't. I ended up leaving with my kid. I later learned his wife didn't know about his old escort life. Apparently, she was mortified. My dad was livid with me for divulging such a personal detail and causing a problem between them. He said I should have let my brother's dark humor joke roll off my shoulders. I was still upset and told my dad it wasn't my problem that he wasn't transparent before he married her. On the other hand, my brother ended up sending me a kiss-off letter saying I got what I deserved for marrying a mess-up. Obviously, he wasn't joking. I grew up having to ignore most of his idiotic behavior, but everything we'd been through had just struck a nerve and I snapped. My dad still won't speak to me. He tells my mom he doesn't care to hear about my husband. My brother, still in town, has requested I don't come around until he's gone. I'm starting to feel I have to be the bigger person here and apologize, but at the same time, they're not even bothering to cut me some slack. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. He made a joke about always knowing your husband was crazy, then doubled down and defended it by insulting you. Yeah, he had it coming. And your dad is just as bad for enabling your brother's BS and trying to justify it as dark humor. Wouldn't that also make your comment dark humor? Personally, I do think it's something he should have told his wife about. Send him back a kiss letter saying you can't wait for his wife to get her paycheck when she divorces him. Don't worry, your brother wasn't joking. He dished out and thought you would just take it. Your dad taking his side is sad, but can have a ton of reasons. Maybe he's one of the men who think women who do that type of work should be ashamed, but being a customer is fine. Maybe his son can do no wrong in his eyes, and you, as the not golden child, should have kept your mouth shut and taken him treating you like this. Probably has a lot to do with mental health stigmas too. Dad doesn't care about his son-in-law anymore because he's ashamed that he's unwell. He won't defend himself or his own daughter anymore because he secretly agrees with his nasty son. I'm so sorry, OP, your brother messed around and found out. You don't joke about this kind of thing, especially when this is his brother-in-law and the father of his niece. It also sounds like your brother is really immature. More like Dad is going to the hookers too and is worried he's the next one to be outed. Apologize to sister-in-law, but not to your brother. She didn't ask to get dragged into this. Explain why you lashed out and that you didn't intend to hurt her. I'm pretty sure she'll understand. I hope your husband gets better quickly and your family is reunited. Unfortunately, mental illness is no joke, literally. When my son, a young teen, was 8, we got a dog. He's half Great Dane and half some dog my friend's dog met during an unauthorized absence. My son loves this dog, does all the care for him, except vet stuff, and is a very responsible dog owner. This dog is pretty much his best friend. My wife is 12 weeks pregnant and she's been acting weird around the dog since we confirmed the pregnancy. She avoids him, puts her hand over her stomach when he's around and jolts whenever he makes a noise. Today she told me she wants to rehome the dog. I asked her what she was talking about. She said she has had anxiety that he will jump on her. This is completely unreasonable. He doesn't jump on people. We trained him not to jump on people or run into people very young because he's half Great Dane, and I felt this was important for all dogs, but especially one who could possibly grow to such a large size, which he did. So there's no reason for her to think the dog will jump on her. She said that there was no way to know for sure that the dog won't jump on her, and if he did, our baby could be hurt. This dog never has so much as growled at her. She said even if the dog doesn't jump on her, her anxiety about it is bad for her health. She said she needed the dog elsewhere for her and the baby's safety. I told her that there was no way. My son got this dog right after he lost his mom and it imprinted on him hard. Sometimes I think he loves the dog more than me. I'm not taking his dog. The dog didn't do anything. My wife said I'm prioritizing the dog over her pregnancy. The dog isn't a threat to her pregnancy. If there were any other unreasonable request, I would just do it because she's pregnant. I can't break my son's heart over a fear that she has that just makes no sense. Am I being an idiot? Not the idiot. Animals are lifetime responsibilities. Pawning them off because she got pregnant would be a crappy thing to do. I would say microchip the dog if you haven't already. Make sure the info is current and see if she will seek counseling or compromise. Your kid needs his dog. OP, you really need to pay attention to this advice. Your wife has irrational anxiety, whether because of hormones, and she needs to talk to her doctor, or because she's always wanted to get rid of the dog and this is her excuse. Only time will tell. But irrational people do crazy stuff, and it would be very, very easy for her to get rid of the dog while you and your son aren't there. And then when baby is born, oh gosh, she's going to worry the dog will eat the baby. Don't you dare give away your son's dog. He didn't ask you to remarry and have a new child. Your son will never forgive you or your new wife if you allow her to continue to push this topic. She needs to actively work on coping with her anxiety. She's a grown woman talking about bringing a baby into this relationship. She needs to work on her anxiety, not try to get rid of a family member who's been in the family longer than her. I, male 26, have been dating my girlfriend 25 for about 3 years now. She and I have had a very healthy relationship. However, recently something happened that I feel I may be an idiot for. Okay, so for context, my girlfriend is Persian and black. She and her parents have a rocky relationship. They obviously love her, but they aren't the most affectionate with each other. Her father would pull diamonds with his bare hand just so that his daughter could have the best jewelry. She is their only child, so it makes sense that they'd be protective of her. I am a white man from Florida, so there are some things that her family does that don't make sense to me, but I try to be open-minded. Now for the story. So a couple of days ago, my girlfriend and I got into an argument. I won't say what about, but it got pretty heated and ended in her storming out and staying with her parents. Well, the next morning she came back, and things were obviously tense, and I ended up going to work without speaking to her. When I returned, she was cutting fruit, like many of them. I didn't think much of it and just went into my room. Eventually, she knocked on the door, and upon opening it, she was standing there with a fruit plate. I asked her what she was doing, and she said, "It's for you." I was still mad from our previous fight and just asked her, "Are you not going to talk to me about yesterday, or even apologize?" To which she replied, "This is an apology?" holding up the fruit again. I ended up telling her that's not a real apology and that in the real world we speak about situations, not gift our way out of them. I heard her crying in the kitchen after and started to feel bad about what I said, but at the same time, I truly thought I was right. Well, this morning, her friend called asking for the silent treatment, avoided her, and didn't try to reconcile. She thought of you and came to you to reconcile and you just snapped at her. Where was your apology, huh? Seriously, my husband and I are both Americans, but whenever we fight, one of us brings the other a favorite drink or snack. At the very least, it makes sure that the person you're having a discussion with isn't hangry on top of being upset. Just because it is an apology for a typical Florida man doesn't mean it's not how her family or culture does things. Also, why does she have to approach you? You're in a relationship too. Grow up. Not the idiot. What is it with these comments? She's old enough to understand that when you wrong someone, you apologize in a way that will make them happy, and certainly do not whine to your friends afterward. What if her culture's apology was a pat on the back? Would that be okay too? What you're saying doesn't make sense. She's not 5 years old, and she should try to understand his feelings, since she's the one that needs to apologize. Disagree. She didn't outright apologize, but she was setting the stage for tensions to be eased so it wouldn't be a heated conversation. Clearly, she's making an effort and doing so effectively, I might add. What did OP do to ease the tension? Give her the silent treatment? She diffused the situation. OP poured gasoline all over it. Unless you come in here and grovel and use these specific words, I'm entitled to act like an idiot with impunity. She made vastly more of an effort than you did. You bulldozed right over her apology and are now trying to claim, oh, that's not a real apology. There's a time and a place for that line, but this ain't it. Oh, you didn't apologize either. Let's remember that in all of this. My niece's birthday was a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, my son was in the hospital for almost the entire month. During that time, I rarely went anywhere except for work and occasionally home to get clean clothes. My dad and sister also frequently came over to help with things, bring food, sit with him while I took a shower and things like that. I didn't attend my niece's birthday. I wasn't even thinking about it at all. I also forgot to text her happy birthday. My dad also missed her birthday because he was helping with stuff at the hospital, so no one from her mom's side of the family was there except for her mom. Now that my son is back home, my sister and her husband brought my niece to visit. At one point, after my son fell asleep, my niece said to me, "Just so you know, it really hurt my feelings that you didn't wish me a happy birthday, not even a text." I was a little miffed that she could hold on to something like that when my son and I just went through something horrible, but birthdays are a big deal when you're 15, so I just said, "It slipped my mind, happy birthday." My brother-in-law said, "She was pretty upset no one from your side of the family was there." I just stared at him for a second. "Yeah, I was at the hospital with my son. Kinda weird that you forgot that." He said, "I didn't forget, but you took over everyone's attention for a month. I don't think it's too much to ask that you apologize to my daughter for making her grandfather miss her birthday." My sister said that we should talk about something else, but I said I thought it would be better to cut the visit short since my son was already asleep anyway. My niece said, "So you would rather us leave than acknowledge you hurt my feelings?" I said yes. My sister hugged me and said they would visit at a better time, but her husband said, "Don't worry, honey, your uncle is just a jerk, it's nothing to do with you." Then they left. Could I have apologized for missing her birthday and technically being the reason my dad did? Sure. Should I have? She's 15. One would think she's old enough to understand extenuating circumstances. Is that an unrealistic expectation? Everyone's the idiot here. Your brother-in-law is the idiot for instigating an issue. You're not an idiot for forgetting the birthday or making your dad miss the birthday. And your niece isn't an idiot for telling you it hurts that she didn't even receive a message. But your brother-in-law was really trying to instigate, and that comment when you asked them to leave? What an idiot. I do have to say, you kinda suck for saying she's old enough to understand. You never get too old to get hurt over being forgotten. Not the idiot. Brother-in-law has been moaning about the attention OP's son got the entire month, which has probably influenced the niece's view. These people are so weird. Who wants this type of attention anyway? It's like I would gladly switch places with you and have a healthy child with no attention. Agree. Most people, even teens, can understand that some things will outweigh others. And people who actually exhibit things like compassion and empathy at any age will recognize and accept when something tragic overshows their special day. But I don't blame your niece. She's young, influenced by her dad, and still very much in the discovering who I am stage of life. I don't know what your brother-in-law's excuse is here. My daughter was super jealous of all the attention her brother got when he was repeatedly admitted to the hospital and had all the fun tubes and machines attached to him. But she was 3. Niece is a little self-centered, but she has time to grow out of it. She doesn't have the life experience to truly understand what you and your family have gone through. In her head, you weren't the one sick, so why did you forget about her? Her parents, on the other hand, are huge idiots for not correcting her when she brought it up, and then not explaining to her the reason why people were busy was someone was very sick. If she was still hurt, maybe they could have thrown her a half-birthday party in 6 months, when your son was hopefully feeling better. Quit taking out your anger on your niece. It's not her fault your son is sick, and it's not her fault you're fighting with her dad. Keep the kids out of your petty BS. My boyfriend and I get free flights due to our jobs. During Christmas, our friend group decided to plan a group vacation to the Bahamas. My boyfriend and I decided to extend our benefits and cover the flights. The thing is, our flights are fully free, whereas friend and family tickets are not. Someone has to pay taxes on the friend and family tickets. Obviously, we're not going to pay those taxes. Over breakfast the next day, we told our friends we'd extend our benefits and added that they just needed to send us money for the taxes. Everyone is super happy and agrees. Fast forward, it's time to book soon. I text everyone asking them to send me $90 each for the taxes. Boyfriend's best friend and girlfriend don't send us money. We think nothing of it. We go out to dinner with them and remind them to each send us $90. The girlfriend gets prickly and says the taxes shouldn't be that high. She starts looking up round trips to see what the taxes cost. The numbers are all around $90, some more, some less. She then tells her boyfriend to send us $180 for the two of them. The next day, all our friends FaceTime my boyfriend and me to let us know that over the weekend she was trying to tell everyone to ask for the receipts before sending money. She said they shouldn't be making money from us. All our friends defended us to her and told us we should revoke our offer. We agreed. We called my boyfriend's best friend and told him we had to talk to him and his girlfriend. When she said, "Hi, you're on speaker," we told them, "We're no longer extending our benefits to you two. If you still want to come, you'll have to book your own flights. We don't appreciate you behaving like we're trying to make a quick buck from our friends." They were both quiet. We just hung up after about a minute of silence. Am I the idiot? Or rather, are we the idiots? Absolutely not the idiot. You did a huge favor to them, and they still managed to be entitled. What type of person accuses someone paying for their flights of wanting to make a quick buck? Excuse me? Did they think how idiotic that sounds before saying it? And no, you are 100% justified in making them pay for their flights. $90 to go to the Bahamas is an amazing deal. You were doing everybody a favor and arranged a great trip. If those two don't appreciate your kindness and try to paint you as shifty to your other friends, they don't deserve any special treatment. Heck, for $90 can I come and be your new best friend? Some people are just too into themselves for their own good. Right? If my friend tries to scam me for $90 in exchange for a trip to the Bahamas, then scam away, friend. I can't believe they had the audacity to complain after you were so generous. They would have been paying the full price if not for your offer. She should have just been thankful that she had to pay way less. Never look a gift horse in the mouth.